just realized that the buttons, just now, realized the buttons that are actually waistcoat buttons. Remember, in that 80s, 90s, 50s video, I was talking about the waistcoat buttons that had broken. I would want to purchase some more, and I never had time to because I had to purchase all the things and I could not spend all that money. So now I have them free. I need it actually exactly free. So I will take out the waistcoat that I intend to wear for the evening now and try them on. So, because these function superbly well. I'm in condition. Right, so for the evening waistcoat, I actually use that one which is in the early 20s, which has solid buttons because there's more forward. It also shows more of the bosom because there's more colorway, and it has a double back and it has solid buttons, so I find it is more forward likely than removable buttons. So it would be used for that spare slash, you know, perhaps solid waistcoat. I would take it out now. Now, before talking about trying the waistcoat styles, because I'll end upon it, I'm going to talk about that shirt before it gets ruined, because in fact we get ruined quite quickly as soon as I'm morning, because I would wear that one as a morning shirt instead since I have this one now. This was meant to be the evening shirt, and with the color I was talking about, which probably dates from the 1890s to 1915 max, 1920 grand max. Unfortunately, it was all starched and well, but installed it because I keep all the evening outfit and the garments and all in that sort bag to hang, and it got wrinkled. Now, see, so this is, remember the other one that I was wearing the 80s, 90s, 50s video? This was a twin neck, not a twin, but it came with it in a pack, which I purchased it in 2011 or 10. So this perhaps was meant to measure. This is from the late 10s or early 20s, and although I starched it using 300 milliliters of starch at the max level and ironed the body first, because it is such a thin wall fabric, cloth I mean, unlike that one, it does not get very stiff at all. But the bosom, here is probably 5 plies or 4 plies of peak. The cuffs are literally cardboard. You cannot get anything here. It still has a bit of the powder effect. I don't know where it's since. See, these are original cufflinks and the cheap ones. The cuffs, they are, unlike with the other one that broke down from the 1890s, 50s video, the cuffs are made like they might remove this removable collar. The cuffs are made like the band collar from a broadcloth. Yeah, probably 4 plies. I would say 4 plies, or no, 3 plies, because they still get a very thin effect. Contrasting the bosom, which is a piqué, what the Americans call a Marcella. It's exactly the same thing, piqué Marcella. That is the collar I already analyzed. I turned it because I do not know why I did that. Never mind, I don't know. I think I just ironed it wrong. And the color did not get super stiff because at that time I was only using 250 milliliters. But I learned that since then it has to be 300 milliliters of starch. So see, it is a more modern shed. See so it says Belgian, which was a famous blend in France. I think in Paris it says Paris ER. So since it has the initials, and I know that I think back then they already did shop made, you know, off the racks. It was not fashionable, but they also did a lot of made to measure. So it was probably made to measure since it is not so long, especially for French shirt. Remember, for longer, it is much less long than the other one. And the cuffs are the sleeves are way too long for me. But so either it was an off the rack item that had not been weren't told it, the collar was not worn, so it was not, you know, it did not shorten the sleeves. And since it was an evening shirt, they knew people back then would only wear them in the evening, you know, because it was already perhaps in the mid-20s or late 10s, so they did not make it to be worn as an under trousers. Or it was meant to measure, and so the collar is rather large. This is probably a 16 collar. The man was probably large, but remember to more than snug, and that's it, he was much taller than I. Or fatter, so anyhow you needed quite a longer sleeve because the sleeves are quite long. They're not that long once starched, but you know, ideally it would be more that rather than this. But again, some people like long sleeves, so it could also be that. Although you see, the shoulder width is still too tight because my shoulders are so broad for my height. You know, the collar is clearly less snug. Now it is very stiff because it still feels snug because it is so starched. And see what I'm talking about? It has a vertical, but this is well made. It has two buttonholes to have options, you know, depending upon how high the under trouser and the trousers reached, or whatever it was he was buttoning it to. And it passes through a slit here, and the slit is reinforced because obviously this is a coat shirt. But unlike modern coat shirts, it is clearly an undergarment because it does not even have a button here. The better ones have a small buttonhole and that reinforcement piece, the triangle, where the slit to pass the bosom tab is. Below that it would have a vertical slit, buttonhole, and a button here to make certain, especially that if this could not be buttoned to anything, it would not gap open. And that if even, ideally, it was buttoned to something, it would not do that constantly and force and gap open a bit. It would very stay secure. But that one does not have it. So what I think is perhaps this was still the highest grade, or nearly highest grade, of the rack items, so they save cost with little things like that. It's a high button, but see, the cuff are not quite, it's a different fashion, they're not quite as long as the 1890s, early 1900 ones. And the button almost in the middle was these clearly towards the end, and to not round it off. It was kind of gone, that fashion of rounding the cuffs out. Everything was more squared, and you know, to have these square-looking waistcoats that are very triangular, like I showed, rather than the rounded shapes of the 1890s and early 1900s that was fashionable until about 1910. So the bosom is still rounded here but it was meant. You can see it sits rather high, especially this is meant for tall, bigger men than that shirt. And even like so, see? Even like so, the bosom is shorter. It is shorter because everything, the trousers and thus the waistcoat start higher, which was also more practical to have off the right items we even meant to measure, that whereby the bosom would not bunch when sitting, right? These shirt stays, by the by, does not even have perfect fitness, does not even have, I like to meant to measure because they do not even have a tab to decrease or increase. It are very neat and all. How I got them, these are actually bed sheet fasteners that I got in Ace Hardware. No, not in Homesmith. And are white. but they will damage